All right, guys, this message goes out to Trade 1348 and GabeTrades.com. We have an evolution in the system here. The evolution is to make trading even more simple. See, trading doesn't have to be the nooks and crannies in a Thomas's English muffin, although some of you make it out to be just that. So in our updates, we've made some adjustments, basically to the math and super trends, et cetera, et cetera. So let's go ahead and like break this down really quickly. So first up, we're gonna go ahead and just take some of these options off really quick, so you guys we could focus on uh, the key update here. One of the key updates here is the alteration to the lengths of super trend, of which we now allow it to closely trail price action, right, singularly. And why is this important? This is so important because, guys, what this does is it shows how safe you truly are when you're trading with our system. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into replay, and we have this moment here when we were triggered a trade design to the upside, right? So we had a trade design to the south, and it worked until it didn't work. You see here, right? Consolidation. And we're gonna talk about this too, because there is a macro and micro element to what we have here on the chart. So I'm going to hit play, and clearly we have an entry here. Now let's stop for a second. This was our entry at 23,376, right? Great entry point. And this is our stop. Now, what we're doing here is saying, okay, based on our risk of 1%, right? This is 1% risk right here, this box. Okay. So that's why we go into our settings and we say our max risk is 10% of our port. So we're always going to give you 1% risk. Now, let's use Supertrend as safety and almost as a confidence builder. Because if you know that your stop is down here at a loss of $555 relative to, 1%, if you have a $10,000 account, that loss would be $100, right? And it would tell you how many contracts you could buy. Okay. So this is 1% risk. Now you definitely have that moment of, hey, wow, I'm doing fairly well here. And so if you got the entry and you know this is your risk, we're not going to move our stop. There's no reason to move our stop, and I'm going to show you why. Because with our super trend, we show you an objective exit. So let's go ahead and click play. And there we go. We got price action doing this thing. It's going flat. Is it telling us get out? No. Right. It reaches a 1.6 to 1. We got that retracement candle. Is it going flat? Is it going to retrace? Do we have to get out? The answer is no. Right. We're still trending up. As you can see, we have super trend here. Now, this candle wicked below super trend. It just wicked. That's it. Did not close. All right. And even if so, it got us a solid 2 to 1. All right. So this here, right? Clear as day. This is an exit. Even if we had a continuation here, right? This is our exit objectively. Because we didn't move our stop and start chasing out, did not freak out. We did not give ourselves more work to do. And we say, okay, that's our exit. Clearly returning more than your 1% risk, far more than your 1% risk. Okay. So now we go ahead and we hit play, and looks like we have a continuation. This allows for a reentry. Now, you know what else that reentry is? Time to turn on a few things. I'm going to go ahead and go to GT Legends here, see what we have. We have the ribbon. We can turn this on. Okay. So as you can see here, the ribbon is often a clue, right? That there is a micro shift in sentiment, right? Now, what happens to a lot of traders is they see the pivot without having context, like with this band, and then it goes south when there's really no reason, right? Because you could easily just get out of the trade here right? Secure the 1.6 or better. And then you get the retracement. And then you wait for price action to come back into the trend, right? Cool. So you can make yourself a 2-for-1 trade here, or simply just wait objectively here. Me personally, I like this exit better. Okay. But what you can also see is how the band can then merge you into Supertrend, which is great. Now, what you're not seeing at all, right, is the macro. And the macro here is the GT. This GT here is green. So therefore, we want confluence in all things. If GT is green, we want everything in our world to be green. So therefore, everything's green up until this point. Otherwise, you could say, I'll turn off my band and use my super trend as my exit, just to avoid you jumping in and out of trades. It's a great option. All right. Everything here is green. Your stop's way down here. You're comfortable. Right. So what we've done is we've removed a couple of things that often plague traders. Uh, we remove anxiety. We remove the sense of scarcity because now we're trading into abundance, right? Especially when you're winning, you feel a lot more confident. You feel a lot more abundant. We're trading into abundance and we have very objective stops, right? Where we can say, all right, the trade is clearly over. Okay. So now there's a couple of things we can do. We can then go ahead and say, all right, we have all this. Let's check out Trend Tracker. So Trend Tracker gives us a couple of options here. Um, Show candle numbers, uh, uniform colors. Don't worry about use faster trend. Show TT. That's what we want. We could show a volume display. Don't worry about that. Right. So basically this setup here with these check marks are basically what you want. Do not overcomplicate it. Now we're going over to GT Legends. What we can do is turn on VWAP to give an extra mode of confirmation. And let's just turn this to red and green, right? So it's clearly color coded. So as you can see here, even using VWAP, which is an institutional line here, we're bullish. Nothing saying bearish. Do not trade against institutions, especially when we're at VWAP, okay, or above VWAP. Above VWAP, we're bullish. Below VWAP, we're bearish, right? Thursday. Below VWAP here, we're bearish. Simple. Okay. So what we have is all of these color confluences just telling you stay in the trade. It's clear as day. Going back here, we can include an STB line. We could also include predictive levels. Predictive levels, if you are not into trade and need context as to what could possibly happen, you could turn on your predictive levels and see what's going on. Let me turn this off. Okay, because when you're actually in a trade, your take profits are based on those predictive levels, right? So what we're trying to do is remove anxiety until you are truly in a play and becomes actionable. And of course, once it's actionable and you're in a trade, you have your trade designs telling you where to take profit as it's doing right now. Okay, over here. Um, let's go ahead and look at some of the other options here. We have the EMAs turned off. We have the 200 turned off. We have VWAP turned on. We have the ribbon turned on. Cool. You could turn this off, guys, if you feel like you just want to get out. You know, you get in and just get out, right? Your reentry is going to be here, right? I mean, you could simplify that for yourself. Absolutely. Okay. For me, I like to have it on. So now we have it on. Cool. So these are our settings. Trend style is going to be super trend. And then, by default, it's green and red or a pastel green and almost a pink, right? And then everything else is, pretty much left alone. Okay. So we click OK. Now, what we see here with Trend Tracker, it shows price line We could turn this off. And obviously our candles with the band, right? Okay. So now when we talk about candles, we talk about emotions and how your emotions just sort of kind of like freak the fuck out with every candle print. Well, there's a couple of ways to deal with this. And one way to calm everyone down is via a line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off my candles here and I'm going to go into my trend tracker and I'm going to show price line. Now, here, we want to make sure if this is not an option for you guys. I believe it now is an option. I trade 1348, but governing trend is VWAP. Okay, great. And let's go ahead. We can choose to expand this, right? And this gives a vote of confidence where you could see how we are bullish until we're not, right? Although we're green, we're still in an uptrend until we're essentially flat, right? Anyways, I might hide this because what a lot of people tend to do is put too much weight on this, just way too much weight on this, where all you really have to worry about, honestly, is if you are above VWAP and you're trading alongside the macro. These become micro elements in the trade. Even this exit becomes a micro element. This becomes part of the macro. Green. In the world of green, we don't want to see red. In the world of red, we don't want to see green. It's really that simple, okay? In the world of green, we don't want to see red. Low probability setups, so we wait for greens, right? We don't want to see reds. We do not trade reds in the world of green. We do not trade greens in the world of red. Here, red, go. See? Um, Here, clear as day. In the world of red, we don't want to see green. Red, 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 so we get green. Here, green, confluence, till we see red. This is a no-go. All right, in the world of green, we want green. We don't trade red. Here we go. Green once again, we go. I know it just seems ultra simplistic, but that's truly what we built. In the world of red, we don't want to see green. Red, green, nothing to do here. Okay? Nothing to do here. We want to trade reds in the world of red. We want to trade greens in the world of green. This will prevent you from flip-flopping too much and possibly getting caught up in chop. Now, no system is perfect, but we have enough evidence to show that our system is safe and logical and will help you make a shit ton of money. That's pretty much it, guys. I'm signing out. Peace.